Why hello YouTube, greetings from the lazy eyebrow to a first look and a review of the new label set for Earthrise Cliffjumper. Earthrise Cliffjumper was an unexpected surprise for me. I went into the review of the figure unimpressed and came out with a new favorite figure. I mean, it's basically the toy equivalent of a mullet.
Bishi in the front, Porsche in the back.
Basically, this toy came across feeling like a passion project for one of the designers, which made for an excellent launching point for a label set. Straight from the creative desk of Cameron Holliday, here's a label set for Earthrise Cliffjumper from Toyhax. Starting from vehicle mode, 3 different visual styles have been created. However, some details are shared between all 3 looks, so we're going to go over those first. Starting with the back, Earthrise Cliffjumper came with the molded taillights that very much resembled the Porsche 944. So, in natural Toyhax fashion, taillight labels have been made, distinctly emulating the look of the 944 of the old days, as well as a license plate inset to contrast the red. The default license plate is Cliffjumper, and thankfully it was printed to the inset, so you don't have to worry about centering the plate and making sure it's lined up properly and everything's square. It's just part of the inset label, and I super appreciate that. That being said, if his disemboweled name as a license plate doesn't strike your fancy, other options include it's a gas, not B, no traders, the red one, dead center, or you can swap out the license plates entirely with rear-mounted glass gas cannons as seen in the pilot episode of Transformers, or a generic Autobot symbol vanity plate that was prominently featured on the original G1 toys. On the tires, this may come as the far opposite of a surprise to longtime viewers of this channel, but this is my favorite touch, and it ought to be after how much I covered this in the review of Cliffjumper himself. Removing the tires shows us the lovely detail they added to the port where the tire plugs in that give us performance brake rotors. Well, labels have been supplied for everybody to have the same effect that I gave my personal copy with a chrome pen, with no mess. Simply apply the included brake rotor label, replace the tire, and you're ready for some high-performance braking. What's nice about this is that the rear rotors didn't have much space for the mold to add in much detail. However, the labels can afford that, so they look so much nicer than one can do with a chrome pen and a fine-tip marker. It's awesome! On the front, a whole swath of detail has been added. The hood scoop opening is blackened out, fog light and turn light signals were added, these areas were blacked out, and intercooler detail was added. How neat is that? I mean, it could also be the radiator, but I'm like 98.6% sure this was the intercooler on the Starion, so I'm going to stick with intercooler. Either way, they both looked like this, and to have this detail on the front is incredible. And finally, we come to these windows. Originally, the windshield and the door windows were cast in translucent blue. Meanwhile, the back glass was painted black. I mean, that can't really be helped from the manufacturing side, but this is where labels really shine. Included with this set are realistic-looking windows that are this dark, midnight blue on a black gradient. However, other details were included, such as the silhouette of a dashboard with North American place steering wheel. Windshield wipers are clean and bright, as they should be, considering how they're on the outside of the car and not behind glass. And on the back, another rear wiper was added mainly based off the Starion, as the 944's wiper was vertically mounted when it wasn't in use. So not only are these extra car details here, something I can never get enough of, but these 4 labels come together to really unify the look of the windows and make it look like it's one cohesive package, that all the windows are actually windows and are part of the same car. I absolutely love this idea, and I hope it's something that becomes a mainstay. Another detail includes a red label to cover up the Autobot logo on the hood, and a silver one was provided to go on the roof. Popping over to robot mode for a sec gives us a quick look at what that looks like. This is the silver option, though a white one is also provided. So in short, I love what's been done to the vehicle. It takes a great figure to an outstanding one, and we've only covered some of the vehicle details. Let's go into the 3 variants. So as mentioned before, Earthrise Cliffjumper is heavily inspired off a Mitsubishi Starion, and as such, a good wealth of Mitsubishi-inspired decals are included. In the back, 2 options for the Starion are provided, the first of which is the spoiler-mounted taillight you would find on the Starion. The other option being the Starion logo as seen in some models. The side skirts also come with black trim with the turbo designation on the side. And finally, a black hood accent with red and white pinstriping. Interestingly enough, 2 labels for the leg were also provided to promote the idea that the thighs are what make up the hood, and that's where those parts ended up during transformation. And I wholeheartedly give my full approval on this idea. It's such a cool aesthetic choice. Moving on then to the second variant. This is mostly the same as the Starion, however the difference being the side skirts now say Porsche on it instead of turbo. Being that this is more Starion than 944, I feel it's appropriate this level of Porsche is achieved. That and the 944 is known for having a very clean red appearance, when it's not any other color. Alright, third mode. The windows get swapped out for the cell-shaded look. White racing stripes are added to the roof, and a checkered pattern is added to the bottom of the car. This is very much inspired off the all-hail Megatron appearance of Cliffjumper, and I quite like the look. If you want to achieve more specifically this issue of comic accuracy, you can absolutely leave the real-world vehicle windows in to give it that all-hail Megatron look. But other than that, as far as cartoon comic accuracy goes, this pretty much hits the nail on the head for looking both accurate and visually appealing, and I really like the look. And of course, if one thing doesn't suit you over another, the wonderful thing about this set is that it's extremely versatile. Do you prefer the look of a realistic-looking Starion on a Cliffjumper toy? This set has you covered. Do you strive for comic book accuracy? This set has you covered. Do you appreciate real-world details but also prefer your toys looking like they stepped out of your TV screen? This set has you covered. Lastly, we come to robot mode. This set is very much vehicle-centric, but given that so much of the vehicle makes its appearance in the robot, it's not like your vehicle labels are gone into hiding. I rather like the look of the new windshield on the chest, and that's not even considering the new robot-only details added. Details like the gears and the machinery found on the shoulder pads, the Autobot insignia smack dab in the middle of the chest, and finally, details for the waist and shins, and those are the generic ones. The variant-specific ones include a red swap chin and metallic gray on the thighs for your comic book-inspired appearance, or of course the black with the stripes to accompany the Starion alt mode. Finally, 2 additional Autobot logos have been included specifically for the all-hail Megatron variant. These include a normal small one to fit right over the stripes, or a heavily comic-inspired design. As for the big cannon, it also has a little bit of detail added to the end piece in the form of red gradient, almost like a power level indicator, and 2 red labels in the back give it a pop of color. So that was my review for the Toyhax label set for Earthrise Cliffjumper. It is an absolute stellar set, riddled with all sorts of amazing details, and those windows are such a welcome addition that I hope to see more of in the future. This whole set does wonders for the figure, and took an amazing figure to the next level aesthetically for me. If you like what you see, there's a link in the description and a pinned comment when this set becomes available that you can click to order your own copy. In short, this is a set I highly recommend, and one I personally asked to cover, if nothing else than for the fact that you too can have brakes prominently displayed on your Earthrise Cliff. This has been the Lazy Eyebrow.